Hi, I'm Marla Niederer, and I just wanted to share with you how I created this little Halloween witch tag that you can use for Halloween decorating. You can use it for, sending a nice greeting to someone, or junk journaling, whatever your heart's desire. And I do have a digital download that you can purchase in my shop, and I'll give you the link below for the little witch. But if you have another little clip art that you'd like to use, feel free, and I'll show you my process. So I hope you enjoy. I added a little bit of black ink to the edges of the orange card and the black card just to add a little bit of dimension. And I just used some quick drying tacky glue to layer the orange tag onto the black tag, and I just kind of lined it up with that hole that I cut out before I put them together, and that's marked on the digital download that you can purchase from my shop. And then I'm just putting a little bit of glue again on the checkerboard layer, and all of these pieces I printed out on 80-pound cardstock. And I used a white textured cardstock for the printing, and I actually cut out the black and the orange from black and orange cardstock, but on the digital download you could actually just print those out too onto white. And here, to add a little dimension to the dress, I took a 2-inch wide piece of tulle, and I ran a gathering stitch on my sewing machine, and just a very loose stitch, and then gathered it because I had doubled it first, and then I pulled it and created those gathers. But you could also do a gathering stitch with just a needle and thread if you don't have a sewing machine. And I glued the skirt to the waistline and then set it aside to dry. You could use a glue gun, but because it's a little quicker than using the liquid tacky glue, but I prefer to use the tacky glue as much as I can. And here I'm just adding the black backing, and it's a cardstock, to the little witch. And it's not totally necessary to do, but I like to do it just because it adds a little bit more depth when I'm making the tag, so it kind of elevates it a little bit for that. And I always like, for my paper dolls that I use in my paper crafting, I like to add an extra face, and this is also in the digital download, and that again adds a little bit more depth to the tag or the paper doll, whatever you're creating. And I also included a little pumpkin, so I'm adding a little black cardstock backing to the pumpkin right here. And then that I'll attach to the hand of the little witch a little bit down the road. And now that the skirt's a little bit drier, not totally dry, but a little bit more, I'm adding a waistband, and this is just a little piece of the orange crepe paper. I'm sure you can use ribbon too if you prefer, but I had the crepe paper and I kind of liked it, so I just added that at the waistband. And again, I'm adding a little bit of glue in the back. And you're not going to see the mess because this is all going to be glued onto the little witch, and this is just going to add quite a bit more dimension to the paper doll. I do use my brayer, as you can tell, quite a bit because it looks like it's been used a lot. And I just find that that makes it easier for me. But if you don't have one, it's not something that's absolutely necessary, but I do have one, so I do prefer to use it for my paper crafting. And here I'm just gluing down the dress on top of the little witch. And again, you know, this whole process gives quite a bit of dimension to the doll, and I kind of like the way that looks. And again, I'm using the brayer just to make sure everything's adhered nicely and evenly to the doll. And at this point, I'm going to glue the extra hat. And again, I like to do a lot of layers with my paper crafting because it just adds more dimension, and that's kind of what I'm going for with this Halloween paper tag. And again, using just the liquid glue, and I'm using a Scotch brand liquid quick drying tacky glue, but you can use any brand that you prefer or that you have on hand. Some people use glue sticks too, so that would work too if that's what you have on hand. And now I'm ready to glue the little paper doll onto the tag. So just again adding some glue. And then just attaching it right to the tag, and I'm trying to center it as well as I can, like the tip of the hat is centered with the little hole that's going to be used to add the fabric strips to the top of the tag. And again, I do like to, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I like to use the wax paper when I'm adding things to my paper crafting, gluing things, because it keeps the items from sticking to your fingers and things like that where you would pull it away accidentally. And I find it just kind of makes it easier for me. Of course, if you don't want to do it that way, that's fine. Everybody has their own routine. And here I just added the little pumpkin to her hand. And I took out some Mod Podge, and I'm getting ready to add some black glitter. And what I'm using is a very fine, non-toxic black glitter. And I picked it up just at the store. I think it was at Walmart that I got this one. And just layering that on top of the Mod Podge that I painted with a not very good brush that I only use for gluing. And then just kind of tapping off the excess. And I decided I was going to add some black glitter to her shoes. And I just think it kind of adds quite a bit to the tag. I'm really enjoying using the glitter. I didn't use it that much in the past, but the more paper crafting that I do, the more glittering I tend to do. So it's kind of fun, and it adds that extra sparkle to your holiday decorations. And so I'm just adding a little bit around the checkerboard. And so it's kind of also, I thought it might be nice to add it at the hem of her skirt. And I'm kind of going in layers with the glitter because I kind of want to see what it looks like before I add more, because I don't want to go too heavy-handed. Although, can you really be too heavy-handed with glitter? I don't know, but I kind of like the shiny. So here I'm just adding another layer around, and it's on the black cardstock. And I'm finding that by using the little plate and the wax paper, I can just fold it up and add it back into the glitter bottle. So that kind of worked. And I took a strip of 2-inch wide tulle that I cut. And, well, it's black lace net fabric, but you could use tulle also. And then this is orange print quilting cotton that I had. And I kind of folded them all and trying to put them in to the hole from the back so that I can kind of just slip everything through that little loop and then pull the pieces of fabric for the tag instead of making a knot. You know, I just thought I'd try this and I thought it would pull everything together and look a little neater. And you could probably do it in reverse and have that little knot in the front instead of in the back. And here I'm just tightening it and trimming it off. And there you have your Halloween decoration.